The film opens at the Athena orbital station, where forbidden experiments have been conducted. The station is now destroyed, with bodies floating through space. The last surviving member of the expedition reports to the command center, explaining that the experiment went terribly wrong. The test subject, initially thought to be a rat, broke free and is now furious. Despite her warning, the command center doesn't believe her, assuming that the subject is just a rat, and forbids her from evacuating. She must either bring back the experimental samples to Earth or perish in space. Reluctantly, she returns to the laboratory, collects the containers with the samples, and discovers that the creature once known as a rat has now transformed into a massive, monstrous being. As she hurries to the escape pod, the creature, enraged, scratches the window with its claws. The woman manages to launch the escape pod, but the danger isn't over. The pod enters Earth's atmosphere, but the damaged glass begins to crack, and the pod crashes to the ground. Next, we are introduced to a team of researchers. A massive albino gorilla appears in the facility, and the situation becomes tense, as the male gorilla clearly does not trust the humans around him. In a moment of fear, one of the researchers panics and runs away, only to be chased by the gorilla. However, the albino gorilla, named George, ends up saving the terrified man from a dangerous situation. The researchers are astounded by George's intelligence and actions. It is revealed that Davis, one of the researchers, raised George and taught him sign language. George has developed the ability to understand human emotions and even has a sense of humor, making obscene gestures at times. While the researchers are fascinated by George's abilities, Davis is far more comfortable with animals than with people. After a moment of lighthearted interaction with the team, Davis drives off, only to witness a flash in the sky, the explosion of the escape pod. The mysterious containers with experimental samples survived the crash and have landed in various places within a U.S. national park. One of the containers lands in George's enclosure. As the gorilla curiously touches the strange object with his paw, it releases a green substance that covers him. Morning comes, and there is panic in the reserve. Davis is told that his pet is in someone else's enclosure, and it looks like the animals are out of luck. Davis walks around what is left of the bear and tries to talk to George. The gorilla is not feeling well and hides in a cave. When the primate comes out, it becomes clear that the already huge primate has doubled in size overnight. Davis is shocked, but what happened? And most importantly, who is to blame? Of course, rich people in luxurious offices. Meet brother and sister Claire and Brett Wyden. Their company conducted forbidden experiments in orbit. The Rampage project was supposed to combine the DNA of different animals and create a living weapon. After all, if you can turn a simple rat into a monster, the military will pay billions of dollars for this technology. The main thing is to get hold of the samples that fell from orbit. To do this, Claire sends a group of mercenaries. In the meantime, let's meet another character, Kate Caldwell. Kate is a geneticist. In the morning, she sees a report about an accident at the orbital station. Some substance from the station fell to the ground and infected part of Wyoming. The details are unknown, but Kate is terrified. She seems to know how the animals were affected. Meanwhile, Davis is in trouble. His primate friend continues to change, with an incredible concentration of growth hormones in his blood. Davis doesn't know what to do, but the solution finds him. Kate arrives. She claims that George has been struck by a special mutagen that gives one animal the properties of others, and the result is monstrous hybrids that can grow endlessly like a shark, run like a cheetah, and fight like a bear. Kate personally participated in the development of this gene, which means she will be able to cure the gorilla. Due to the accelerated growth, the primate suffers from unbearable hunger. In search of food, he breaks the cage and breaks free. They try to bring the situation under control, but suddenly a helicopter of the special services appears. George falls down, hit by darts with sleeping pills. Meanwhile, the mercenaries land in the forest and look for the infected wolf. They find not a wolf, but a 10-meter-tall creature that destroys the entire group. The gorilla's body is taken away by CIA officers, and the group is led by Agent Russell. Russell's target is the Wyden family. They have long been suspected of developing biological weapons. The mutant gorilla is an important piece of evidence that is going to be transported to the headquarters by plane. During the flight, Russell tells Davis that his new girlfriend has been deceiving him. Kate was fired from the company a long time ago, and she doesn't know how to cure George. Meanwhile, the Wydens learn that the CIA has captured Dr. Caldwell. This is dangerous because she has dirt on them, but Claire Wyden finds a solution. The mutagen is designed so that all its victims react to a special low-frequency pulse. Claire activates the antenna on a skyscraper in Chicago. Now the infected monsters will come to her office and destroy each other. Claire will collect their remains and recreate the mutagen. As for the gorilla, the signal will reach it even at an altitude of 10,000 meters. The monster will get angry, destroy the plane, and the problem with Dr. Caldwell will be solved by itself. The antenna is activated. Something gigantic starts moving down the river toward Chicago. The wolf also rushes to the inaudible call. George wakes up and is furious. Claire's plan seems to be working. The gorilla punches a hole in the airplane. Fortunately, Davis and Kate manage to put on their parachutes. Russell is unconscious. Of course, Davis saves him. The wreckage of the plane falls into a cornfield. The mutant gorilla survives and rushes toward Chicago. Meanwhile, the FBI comes to Wyden's office. Claire is calm because she has already made sure that no one gets to the data on Project Rampage. While Russell calls for an evacuation, Kate tries to make peace with Davis. She joined the Wyden company to save her sick brother. The girl did not know that her experimental developments would be used to create biological weapons. She wants to take revenge on the Wydens. Davis forgives her because now they have a common enemy. Russell, Kate, and Davis arrive at the military base. Here they track the monster's route. The gorilla and the wolf are moving together to Chicago. Davis explains to the military that these animal species cannot cooperate. They are probably just reacting to a common stimulus. Chicago needs to be urgently evacuated because these animals will not be stopped by conventional weapons. Of course, the military ignores his advice. Davis and Kate leave the headquarters. The girl thinks that they need to get to the Wyden's office immediately because they most likely have an antidote that will relieve the animals' aggression and allow them to be controlled. Davis and Kate decide to escape from custody. They get to the helicopter, but Russell is already waiting for them. Fortunately, the agent is not going to stop them. On the contrary, he gives Davis the keys to the helicopter as a token of his gratitude for the rescue. While the pair is flying to Chicago, the military is convinced that Davis was right. The wolf and gorilla can easily deal with soldiers. The colonel gives the order to evacuate Chicago, but it's too late. There are too many people in the city, and the monsters are too close. They are also incredibly huge and incredibly strong. The wolf and the gorilla make it to Chicago. They are heading for the tower with the emitter, destroying everything in their path. But not 2 containers with the mutagen fell into the national park, but 3. The third monster is a giant crocodile. Neither artillery nor aircraft can stop the monsters. It seems that they will destroy everything they can reach. The colonel decides to drop the biggest bomb, which will destroy half the city. Russell doesn't like this, so he leaves for Chicago after Davis and Kate. Meanwhile, the Wydens are about to leave the office. Claire notices that they have guests. Davis and Kate have broken into the lab. They look for evidence, but don't find it because the FBI seized all the hard drives during the search. But Kate can't be fooled because the FBI took almost everything except the smart thermostats, which can also be used to connect to the company's servers. Unfortunately, the servers are empty. The only evidence left was on the Wyden's computer. Not wanting to leave empty-handed, Kate searches the lab. Her suspicions are confirmed. The Wydens did have the antidote, but they can't take it away. Claire arms herself with a pistol and orders the ampules with the antidote to be given to her, and then shoots Davis. She takes Dr. Caldwell with her as she needs her to recreate the mutagen. The Wydens climb to the helipad at the top of the skyscraper. The monsters rush towards them, and the building begins to collapse under their weight. The Wydens don't have time to take off because a gorilla reaches the helicopter first and breaks off its tail. The fragments fly at Dr. Caldwell, but Davis suddenly saves her. It turns out that he was only pretending to be dead because Claire missed his vital organs. The monsters are raging, and there is no more antidote, but Kate has stolen 1 ampule of the antidote. She slips the antidote into Claire's bag and then screams to attract the gorilla's attention. And now the villainess is caught up in retribution. Claire is now inside the gorilla, which means that the antidote is inside the gorilla. Claire's brother goes down to the ground floor, where Russell is waiting for him. The agent promises that he will let the boy go if he gives him the laptop with the evidence. The boy happily agrees and runs away, but not very far because a piece of wall falls on him in the street. Davis and Kate get into a helicopter with a broken tail and find George. The primate has already regained his mind, but unfortunately, the happy ending is still far away. A wolf and a crocodile emerge from the wreckage, and fighter jets fly towards the city. Kate leaves to contact the military and prevent the bombing. There are thousands of civilians in the city, and monsters can be destroyed without bombs. This is exactly what George and Davis are doing now. At first, Davis tricks the wolf into attacking the man, but he falls into the jaws of a crocodile. But what to do with the crocodile itself? Neither bullets, grenades, nor rockets leave a single scratch on it. George is seriously wounded and will soon be unable to fight, but his human friend is in danger. A huge crocodile is about to swallow him. George makes one last dash and sticks a piece of rebar into the monster. The crocodile is defeated. Kate and Russell report this to the military, and they cancel the airstrike at the last minute. The gorilla's dream has come true, and Davis recognizes that this time George really saved him. Moreover, he saved thousands of civilians. The gorilla's eyes close and he loses consciousness. Davis mourns his friend and thinks he is dead. But do you remember that George has a great sense of humor? It turns out that the gorilla was just pretending, and everyone is actually alive. I just realized, what would happen if people walked with gorillas instead of dogs?